Yesterday during E3, Tommy Tallarico presented Intellivision's new console, Amico. Shortly after the presentation, I sat down with him to talk a little bit more about Amico and the experience of working on a new console. What you're about to see are highlights from that interview, and I started with a simple but quintessential question: what does gaming mean to you?
When I think of video games, I think we all think of like our childhood, right? Our first memories of video games playing when we were kids or with our family. And so that's what I think of. So when I go back, and even though I've created video games and done the music and audio and been involved with designing some of the greatest games out there and the TV shows and the concerts and everything. So my whole, kind of world, the greater part of my life has revolved around my video game career. But the first thing I think of when I think of video games isn't playing on stage or doing a TV show. It really is like being in the living room, taking me back, to the early 80s, being in a living room, playing video games with my mom and dad and younger brother, and then later on with friends. And that's really the whole genesis, not the Sega Genesis. It's the whole genesis of why, I wanted to create Amico, was to kind of bring back that simple, anyone can pick up and play. And we saw Nintendo do it with the Wii 15 years ago. Like, my mom bought a Wii. It was, like, what? My mom bought a video game system, But, especially over the last 10 years with mobile becoming such a big thing, we see all of the casual and hyper casual games have kind of moved over to mobile, even children's edutainment and stuff. All moved over to mobile. But the biggest problem with mobile is that it's solitary, right? I mean, every mobile game is somebody staring at a phone by themselves. And so I always tell people, if you want the quick elevator pitch of what Amico is, think of us somewhere between mobile gaming and like the Nintendo Switch. That like we're living in there, where you'd put the Xbox and the PlayStation above Switch in regards to like hardcore gaming. PC even above that, right? That's where but there's a huge gap between Switch and mobile gaming, and that's where we want to live. Do I think hardcore gamers are going to like some of the stuff we're doing? Absolutely. Are they going to buy us instead of a PlayStation 5? Hell no. But we don't have to be competitors or to compete with Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft to do what we want to do. We're coming at everything with a very unique perspective. Keep in mind, there's only 200 million hardcore gamers in the world. That's if you include PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC, right? 200 million hardcore gamers. Me and you are in there. Yet there's 3.1 billion people that play video games on this every single day, right? So yeah, we're excited about what we're offering, and how we're going to offer it to people is going to be very unique and something that they don't normally see.
Absolutely. And just to tack on to your answer, do you think that, and I hate to say this, but do you think that in any way maybe there's a sort of nostalgia factor to
absolutely. I mean, for a certain segment of people, yes. Anyone, let's say 40 and over, has probably heard of Intellivision, right? I mean, we owned 20% of the entire home video game console market. We were the only ones who even got nearly close, or who got close to Atari. We didn't get near them, but we, again, 20% of the market. That's the same as about Xboxes now.
So when I started gaming, it was my dad who actually sat me down. NES, Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, and that was the beginning for me, right? And from then it took off completely. But for as little as I know about Intellivision, and like you said, I do know this: Intellivision wasn't the first one to challenge Atari, but they were the first real threat, right? That's what I understand.
Well, actually, we were the first to challenge them as well, too. They came out in 1977, and we came out in 1979. Okay. ColecoVision came out after, in television. But yeah, no, we were probably the first to challenge him as well. In fact, Intellivision's known to be the ones that started the first console wars, because we would kind of, they would run these TV, Mattel, who owned Intellivision at the time, they would run these TV commercials, and again, it was all kind of tongue-in-cheek fun, but you haven't played video games until you've played in television, once you play in television, you'll know the difference between, because our graphics were better, the gameplay was better,
so with a legacy like Intellivision has, how's the developer reception been? Have you guys reached out to developers?
I mean, we literally have hundreds of people who want to develop for Intellivision, and we're very, we curate all of our games, so we only have so much capacity. Right. So we're trying to, get through. We have a team of folks that just talks to developers all day long, and that's been it's been great, right? It's a good problem to have. And especially after the announcement and presentation today, I mean, they were telling me we've been getting hundreds of emails from developers around the world, which is great. And again, what's great about it too is that because the system is kind of easy and it's not a huge powerhouse or anything like that, it actually is very simple to create games for Intellivision. So that's great. Anyone who knows Unity, and again, we're an ARM-based processor, which is, kind of like Android-based. So right. So if you've ever done a game on a mobile phone or a game in Unity, then the hard work is there. That's the hardest part of creating a game,
And speaking of games and the system, it's been a crazy last year with the coronavirus and all that. And I know, we see it now, even now, with graphics cards that are, it's difficult to get your hands on them.
You can't get anything electronic new.
No, you can't. And, I was just wondering, as Intellivision, have you guys, suffered any?
Huge.
It's been rough.
Huge. I mean, the system was originally supposed to come out last October. So we've kind of delayed it a year, and now and we've been trying to secure components. There's 700 parts that make up an Intellivision Amico. That includes 2 of these, right?
Right.
And over 100 of those parts, of those 700, are electronic components. And there are, 3 or 4 that are just, you can't find them. You can't get them. It doesn't matter who you are or how much money you have, right? And so that's been the challenge for us, because we are a small company. We don't have the buying power of Samsung and Apple and Sony and Microsoft, Right. We're at the back of the line. So we're doing everything in our power, to try to go into production for this July. Fingers crossed, we have an amazing team of a huge group of people, not only internally, but our manufacturers as well, who are scouring the earth, trying to do deals or trying to figure out, we can get 1,000 of them here, 2,000 parts here, just trying to put it all together so that we can get, out for October 10th. But I tell you, we've always been honest and forthright with everyone. Because we want everybody to know the situation, but we can't wait for people to get it in their hands. And if the worst thing in the world is everybody wants one, but can't get one, well, I've heard of worse problems. So
there are worse problems. There are worse problems.
Yeah, and we're in it for the long haul, right? And we're going to be doing this for the next 7 to 10 years. So we're going to weather this storm initially and get as many consoles out initially as we can. And then, if it takes a year for us to ramp up, well, that's fine. We can definitely, figure that out.
And, just to finish this off, one thing that stuck with me during the E3 presentation, Earthworm Jim. Jim.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, there's some big Earthworm Jim announcements coming over the next month or 2. We couldn't really show off anything right now because there's big things happening and we need to save some certain stuff for certain announcements. But yeah, you know, we're doing a little giveaway, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, we're super excited about Earthworm Jim and the team getting back together. You saw Absolutely. Some of the footage of the original team, you know, 25 years later, coming up with all the fun new ideas and humor and everything. And that's going to be exclusively on Amico. So, you know, it's not going to be out this year. You know, we're currently targeting Christmas of 2022, but again, we're not going to come out with this thing until it's finished. So we don't want to give an exact date yet. It's done when it's done, when we say it's done, kind of thing.
That's fine.
And I think people appreciate that. People would rather wait and have something great than have us rush something out and all of a sudden it's not as great as it could have been.